Today I'm gonna cover philosophy. It's a very powerful philosophy that has to do with leadership and different entities and how they lead. I want to get into it first. My name is Ozzy Ramirez. I'm on the AskOzzy.com real estate team with EXP Realty here in Houston, Texas, and I want to get through philosophy with you. So I read a book a while back, a book called Well Done, WHALE Done, and the book is really about how to completely train how they train whales to, how the whales like Shamu and all that. And I'm not saying I like SeaWorld or anything they've done, but if you know how they train the whales to jump out of the water through the hoop and do all the tricks and all that stuff. And they talk about, if you're going to train a whale and every time the whale makes a mistake you hit them or you yell at them or whatever, do you think the whale's going to end up doing what you want it to do? And the answer is obviously no. Truthfully, if you continue to beat the whale's going to end up eating you and you're dead. And it's going to be horrible. It'll be all over the news, right? They talk about treating human beings a very similar way. And the way they get the whale to do what they need the whale to do is they put like the little bar in the water, and the whale swims over the bar. They give them fish and they keep raising it. And they keep giving fish, and the fish is like, and the whale's thinking, oh crap, if I keep jumping or just under the water, if I keep going over this bar, they give me food. And they raise it and they raise it, and then they turn it into a circle, and he goes to the circle, they keep feeding him, and then they raise it and raise it, and eventually the hoop's out of the water, hoop's further out of the water, and then the end product, which is a whole lot of positive reinforcement to help get there, is you have these massive animals that jump through a huge hoop for fish. So if you look at the two contrasts, which one is browbeating, abuse, and negativity and all that stuff, eventually the whales fight back and you end up in a problem. Whales, by whales I mean human beings. That's the way that works. But with positive reinforcement, like true positive reinforcement, you can actually get a whole lot more done. They say you can attract more bees with honey than vinegar. Very much a similar premise. And I want to talk about another article or book that I also read as well, which is if you haven't read How to Win Friends and Influence People, it's a great book. And they talk about how Dale Carnegie, he has an employee or somebody that's like his right hand, it's a higher up in his company, actually has an issue where he loses millions of dollars, and the guy comes in with his box full of his stuff thinking, I'm getting fired, walks in and says, I'm really sorry, I understand. And Mr. Carnegie says, wait, I'm not firing you. I just invested $1 million in your education. Your mind should be blown right now. Somebody loses somebody $1 million, they're getting fired for the most part. In every human being's mind, that's what we think. You lose $1 million on my company, you're getting fired. Well, Dale Carnegie thought of it in another way, and he thought of it as, I just invested $1 million in your education. Why would I fire you whenever I just invested $1 million in your education? In fact, I'm going to keep you on until you give me my $1 million back. And I think that philosophy, that mentality is genius. It's a positive reinforcement to where that person that just lost you $1 million is now grateful for the opportunity and thinking, oh my God, I got to get this $1 million back, this guy. And how amazing would it be? How amazing would the work be? How amazing would everything be if somebody said, I owe you $1 million worth of work? That's insane. But it's a genius philosophy. Another thing, just in the same way, I've read this meme, I've seen it in different places, and it talks about an African tribe to where if somebody does something wrong, instead of chastising them, they bring in the middle of the village and they pray for him and they lift him up and they give him words of praise. Think about that. Somebody makes a mistake, huge mistake, I don't know what it is, but instead of tearing them down, beating them down, and telling them they're horrible and throwing rocks at them, they lift them up and say, you're still a good person. We still love you. We are still here for you. It sounds insane. And most people would think, Ozzy, that doesn't get results and blah, 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 and this and the other. And I could get it. I totally understand where you're coming from. Yet I'm just going to go ahead and disagree with you. And I believe that positive reinforcement, loving people, lifting people up in praise will get you a whole lot further than the chastising, negativity, beatdown type society that we really have nowadays. I wonder if we spend more time loving on people, would be. I wonder that in different neighborhoods and different cultures and different societies in the United States, if the police officers showed up every day to love on people, If police officers showed up in the streets to play basketball with the kids, or play football, or coach them, or train them, or pour into them and love on them, how would the relationship with society be, especially in certain areas? I wonder, because if you really think about it, in most of these areas, when do the police show up? When things are bad. Something's gone bad. This has happened. That has happened. That's the only time they have interaction with the police, when things are bad. So what are you programmed to believe? Police are bad. It's a sad thing. But that's kind of the thing we've done. And I feel really bad. You know how I feel really bad for? I feel super bad for the police officers, because we've literally taken human beings and put them in a horrible situation and said, hey, we're going to make you the bad guy. So every time anything bad, somebody dies, somebody gets shot, somebody gets robbed, you're going to show up and you're going to be the one that takes away people's parents. You're going to be the one that arrests people. Now, I'm not saying this stuff doesn't need to happen. What I'm telling you is that if you only show up to bad things and you're only doing negative reinforcement, guess what you become? You become basically the poster child for negativity in certain communities, and it's a painful thing to watch. So I'm asking us to fully understand our relationship with other human beings, to understand how negativity hurts, to understand how, even though it is not these police officers' faults, that's something they're getting into. Now, this could be largely publicized and people could totally take shots at me, but I'm just telling you how I feel and what I believe about this. I believe if we spent more time lifting people up and loving on people, if we spend more time on the relationships, I got this dang bug in here, this gnat. If I have more time on relationships and lifting people up and growing people and building solid relationships, we would have less time spent on all the bad things and the negativity that comes with bad relationships. So I hope this helps somebody understand about a new type of leadership that the world is moving towards, which is a leadership of volunteerism, a leadership of servant leadership, a leadership of lifting people up in positivity. And I believe that's the future of what we need in this country, in this world. Not just through organizations and business and volunteer and all that good stuff, but I mean across the board, it's what we need. So just think about that before you chastise someone, before you tear somebody down. Do your best to pray for that person, lift them up, and see how that might change your relationship a little bit. Be there to say, I understand, I get it, how can I help you? Instead of judgment and being ugly towards people. And let's see how that works out. I hope this helps somebody today. I pray for all you guys. I love you. I lift you up. If you ever need anything, holler at me. And I'm here for you. Have an amazing day. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.